Alright, hey everybody, welcome back again to Dead Space. I don't know how many more chapters of this game there are, but hopefully not too many, because we're already up to 5 episodes on this game. Well...
This may be our last chance of getting out of here alive, Isaac.
Okay.
There's an asteroid loaded up in the mining bay waiting to be smelted. If you attach the SOS beacon to it, you can launch it away from the ship to make a clean broadcast. The beacon's on the maintenance subdeck. You can launch the asteroid from the control room. Damn, the control room is locked. It looks like they keep an emergency access key on the processing subdeck. Couldn't be easy, could it? I don't know how much more of this I can take.
No, it can't be easy. And, in fact, not only can it not be easy, but they can't even come up with, like, more interesting reasons for why I can't enter doors. It's pretty much been, the door is locked, or some variation thereof, for forever. You know, I guess sometimes the door is locked for a reason, and the reason changes, but it's always like, well, you've got to go to, well, you know... Switch my mouse configuration back to... Yeah. See, by default, my mouse just has, like, the actual mouse buttons. Because I expect a modern AAA computer game to recognize my mouse buttons, but I have to put it into a special mode where all of the mouse buttons are instead macroed to keyboard keys, so that I can play this game. So that I can say, right bracket! Yeah. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I hope the game's not too terribly much longer, because I kind of got, like, I got other games to play. That's what it really comes down to. It is really nice that it's fun now. That's something that it was not before. Now it's fun. Because now I can shoot stuff, which is my favorite. My goodness. Nice and calm for this first bit. That's pleasant. Oh, and a bench. Is there a store anywhere? There's a save station. So this is like... This is looking like home base. But, kind of... I can hear a lot of the spooky action music, but nothing showed up. That was weird, it kind of faded in. Hasn't done that before. Not that I remember anyway. There's a star. Awesome. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna mutter here a lot, I guess. I wouldn't mind it if the game went on for a little while longer. Now that it's finally what I feel like it was always supposed to be, I'm a little more keen to not enough for another power node. I'm a little more keen to play around, you know, to actually play and enjoy myself for a little bit, for whatever Dead Space has to offer. I mean, it may be... It's not the best action ever, as I've been discussing, because of the way that it's making sacrifices for the sake of this horror pretense, that it's not really actually fulfilling in any way, which is disappointing. So capacity, on the plasma cutter or keep upgrading the force gun? Well, I've only got the one node, so let's make this a complete waste. Let's make it feel like a complete waste, that is. Anyway. Found out some other fun stuff. I didn't find this out, like I didn't look it up, but crap, how do I do this again? This button. There actually is a map. I'm sure that anyone who knows goddamn anything about Dead Space was like actively cursing me for the fact that I kept bitching about the fact that they used breadcrumbs and that they don't give me a map. When I was saying that, I was actually mostly talking about the fact that I prefer an on-screen mini-map. But it didn't even occur to me that they'd have it in the rig there, because here's the thing. I bring up the rig with the one button, and you can see way up at the top of the rig there are 4 little icons that are inventory, map, journal, and I guess probably audio logs or something. But I have no idea what keys actually switch between those. I've been trying hitting different keys to see. So because it was never an obvious key, like it wasn't a key that I could bump into accidentally, for example, it was nothing I ever realized I could do. Mouse modifier? Is that if I hold down Alt, I'll be able to use a cursor? Because again, like Jesus Christ, that would be nice. Select. Oh no, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what they are. Well, that kind of sucks. What I'm really looking for is something that lets me just, like, tab to the right, tab to the left. But okay, so there I can flip between the different. And let's try this out. Oh, look at that! See, if I hold down the Alt key, I can pan around with my controller. That actually is terrible. That doesn't control well at all. I'm not going to do that. That'll be more hassle than... That will be far more hassle than just using the directional keys even.
The mining subdeck is offline for some reason, Isaac. I'll see if I can run a bypass.
So, is like a guy with a severed arm supposed to be horrifying? Sorry, I know I said I was going to just try to relax and have a good time, but, well, can I go down to deck B? Yeah, okay. Let's do that then. Oh, jeez. Alright. So we're doing this now. Gun. Got any more? There you go. What, seriously? Was that 2 monsters in one go there, or did that guy just survive that many shots? I'm now actually very glad that I dedicated that node to the force gun, because it is bugging me that I'm trying to remember what difficulty I was on in Dead Space 2, because I feel like I might have done it on easy difficulty, but what I recall is casual, whatever they call it. What I recall is that after I had upgraded my force gun a little bit, I could point it at the critter's torso, and their torso would go flying out behind them. Any more? Alright. Their torso would go flying out behind them, and their limbs would just kind of be scattered off in every direction. It was kind of funny. It ended up... There results were very cartoon character, because, you know, is kind of like the, you know, the cartoon character running through a wall and it leaves that little outline. It's like you just knock their torso out of place and their limbs would still be hanging in the air. Obviously the physics engine doesn't actually let them hang in the air, so they'd go scattering off, but you get the idea, right? It was like one hit and they would just sort of explode and all their limbs would go flying in all different directions. Which I really appreciated, because it pisses me off when they sort of jump up on you. Remember the lessons, kids. You do something like have moving shadows, that implies there's something active and moving in the room, which should result in the player becoming apprehensive about the contents of the room. But in theory, what you actually want is for the player to be apprehensive all the time. So what you do is, sometimes the shadows are meaningful and sometimes they aren't. And this time they aren't. It's a little weird when you see Dead Space doing that kind of stuff, mostly because, as I've mentioned, it doesn't really make me frightened, right? Like, the fundamental problem is that the necromorphs aren't scary. They're just bad dudes, right? They're like any other bad dudes from any other video game. Where, you know, in a more effective horror game, these moments of, I don't know, fake tension, that's not really, like, the tension is supposed to be real, but the fake out moments where they're trying to set up a scare but then they don't deliver on it so that they can keep you on edge, they seem weirdly sterile, if you will. Like, I'm not getting the emotional feeling out of them. You know, if anything, what I'm really getting is a mild disappointment, because there are no bad guys. You know, I saw the freaking moving shadows, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to shoot stuff, and then I don't. You know, I know that Dead Space 2... Did I just walk in a circle? Alright, fuck it. This is what I mean, incidentally. Hopefully I'll be able to remember the thought that I was working on there. But, like, if I could, I would just walk with this map up all the time. But that's a little bit impractical because of the, well, that. You see, like, when I try to round a corner, it's really weird. Like, the map is meant to be viewed effectively stationary. And you're supposed to use this when you're just walking around. But this, and my whole problem with this, is that it, I turn my brain off, right? When I was being a little more mean about it, I described this as some, you know, follow the line like a good little drone. But even if I'm not being so, you know, transparently disappointed in that choice. Is there actually anything coming? Even if I'm not being quite so, just obviously this was dumb on their part. If I try to be a little more fair, try to be a little more clear. Like, the point of this is to solve a theoretical design problem where the player gets lost. But it's solving it in, like, the most ridiculous way that you could possibly do that. Like, just have the entire game be a perfectly straight hallway. That's what the equivalent of doing that is, right? There's just no reason. I no longer make choices about which way I'm going to turn about any of this stuff, because the breadcrumbs just tell me where to go, right? Even if, like, you're going to say, well, the breadcrumbs are nice because they can get you back on track from anywhere, but then you can still freely explore on your own. That rings a little bit hollow, because the whole problem here is I don't have a strong sense of space. Like, I don't have a sense of where I am in this facility, And the reason I don't have that sense of space is because being forced to navigate the space is what creates it, is what, if I don't have to make a mental map of the area, then I won't. So in this case, exploration feels more like you're asking me just to sort of wander aimlessly, and then just, basically not worry about it, because I'm always going to be able to get back on track thanks to the breadcrumbs. This thing, the magical line in the floor.
Entering zero gravity.
There's a failsafe on the processing control door. It won't open until gravity is restored. But you can't turn on the gravity until those boulders are cleared from the room. Maybe you can dump them into that gravity beam with your kinesis gun.
Yeah, okay. Why not? I'm not going to be able to reach the furthest ones.
Anomaly destroyed.
Yeah, of course there's that noise. Got any more? Where else? I hear them, but I don't see them. Oh, there he is. Did I pick up another tiny med kit? Or med pack, or whatever they're called? Because I feel like the two large med packs that I was keeping should have fixed me up more than that one did. Anyway. Right. Gonna jump. Anywhere is good, I just need to kind of... There you go.
Anomaly destroyed.
So there's one more pile of junk somewhere. Oh, there it is. Man, what was the other stuff I was talking about? This is the problem, is that I can remember saying I'll come back to this, but I can't remember what I was supposed to come back to. That's the ADD for you. What the hell? What is it? Aim for the gap, asshole. Alright.
All three floating anomalies destroyed. Gravity can now be restored.
Great. Where do I do that?
Reminder. Gravity must be restored before accessing the control room. Thank you.
Sure is nice that I can't just crawl around the lip. I guess the breadcrumbs are a reasonable solution for these areas, because these areas are super disorienting no matter what.
Thank you.
I don't understand.
Reminder. Gravity must be restored.
Oh, that's the
before
control
accessing
room.
the control room.
That's not where the gravity switch is located. That is the control room.
Gravity must be restored before accessing the control room.
Yeah, okay, lady. But where Where do I restore the gravity? Where's the button? There's the fixed gravity button. Is that it? That looks like it might be it. The breadcrumbs take me over here, huh? Explain that to me, asshole. Oh no, there's gonna be baddies, eh? Oh, sure enough. Tell you what, I'm gonna come this way. Because that'll put a little more distance between me and those things. Man, the frame rate is not, Oh! Yeah, no, I kind of figured that was going to happen. So... That did not go well either. Alright, just... Listen. It would be great for me if you guys could, just cool it for a bit. Are there any more? Why did that, like, exploding thing just get, like, shorn off without killing the thing to which it was attached? I didn't even think that was possible. And yet I saw it with my own eyes. Lots of line racks. Don't know why. Not a big line rack person myself. This is the, as I was saying, this is sort of the gun that I am keeping with me instead of other guns, just so that I have another ammo type available. But I'm also starting to notice that they aren't giving me ammo for any other guns, so I think I might have been correct in my original assumption that they only really spawn ammo for the things that you actually own. I had assumed that was not the case because I found
That's the key, Isaac.
contact energy and pulse rifle rounds before, but maybe those are scripted sometimes.
I read another report on
Maybe I
Colin
should sell
Dementia.
this thing and just
It seemed to
devote
start
the
after they removed
inventory
the Martian
space to
planet.
more ammo for the other
God knows how long it was down there.
two, since they're the only guns I actually care about. Something to seriously consider next time I'm at a shop. Oh, hello. Funny you should, happen to arrive, power node, because I just... Geez, I'm getting a lot of dead air here, hey? Dead space, if you will. Oh! That's not a funny joke, I apologize. I'm trying to remember the things I was talking about, but what? The sort of the weird hollowness to like ordinarily you don't pick up on the tropes quite so heavily because you're being affected by them, but with this stuff, like, I can't help but notice them because I'm not being, like, they're not working, they're not doing anything, so it's really obvious. It's sort of like getting to observe the tropes in a sterile environment. going back to the store, because I bet I gotta sell that ruby semiconductor at least. That's worth a lot. I think that's worth as much as a power node, actually. If memory serves. Oh, there it is. Yep. Yeah, it is. So there you go. Automatically worth it to activate the little rooms. Alright. Let's do this. Screw the line gun. There's no situation when I would want to use the line gun when I wouldn't rather be using one of my other ones. So let's use that money to buy a bunch of extra plasma energy. We'll devote 3 inventory slots each, so you can actually afford to buy even a few more. Yeah, there we go. And then let's burn the rest on more power nodes so that we can further upgrade those 2 guns. Yeah. I wonder if that offends any big dead space fans who are like, no, you have to use the... You have to have all 4 weapon slots filled, and it has to be this configuration of 4 guns for these 4 situations. So that you're prepared for everything. I'm like, nah, man. Nah. Plasma cutter is good for literally every situation, and the force gun is just slightly better than the plasma gun for a couple of situations. And no, there was a fucking... Oh! Check this out. I can use my map. So the bench... God, this is a confusing map. The bench is... What? It's down a floor? Except that the... God, this is a confusing map. The, Shit, I tapped the aim key. I shouldn't have done that. Alright, fuck it, it's... I don't even see how I can get to it. Let me take one more look. See, it's down on that... What? I don't even see where that connects to the rest of the building. That's really... Alright, screw it. I'm gonna... We'll just, make a quick save here, and I'll just deal with the bench when next we get to it. Maybe I can, you know, maybe my map criticism will stand, because that map is not great if I can't even fucking read it. What the hell? Whatever. Whatever. There are a bunch of, like, grayed out, faded out things, and I can't tell if those are supposed to be just decorative or if they're supposed to be... Oh, here we go. Was this the trick? Was I got in the elevator and went to processing? Yeah, no, that adds up, because when I first got to the area, I was in that cozy little place that had a save spot and a store and a bench all clustered together in one neat and readily available location. Oh, now the map makes sense. That's the elevator shaft that they're drawing there in pale gray. So I can, in theory, get to any of the floors touching that. Okay. Whatever. The important thing is I'm where I need to be. Where I want to be. Yeah, okay, that's a shitty map. That's not improving things much. I'd much rather have a mini-map. I'd much rather have a mini-map. My favorite combination, actually, is a mini-map with... Oh, this is going to be fun, too. Woo. Yeah, good stuff. Maximum damage. Oh, yes. The only thing left to upgrade is capacity, so I guess I'm also going to just go over here and pick up the speed node last. Because capacity hasn't been a serious issue thus far. This gun's got a long way to go, though. Because I need both of these damage. I need both of those damage things because I'm tired of this. I fire the thing at them and they just kind of get knocked back, but they don't lose any limbs. That needs to fix itself up right quick. Alright. Back to the cargo lift. I guess we're supposed to go to maintenance now? I don't know. I wasn't actually paying attention. I'm just gonna take a guess, and if I'm wrong, the breadcrumb will tell me where to go. Anyway, I'm trying to think about other stuff I can talk about also while I'm doing the little VO. Obviously, the thing that keeps occurring to me is the horror failures, but well, they did that growling for a reason, I assume, yeah? That's one of those regurgitated nasties from the... Fuck this. Alright, let's see if I can sneak a shot in through there. No? Then my inclination's actually just to hang out. Wait for them to come to me, you know? Probably they won't let me do that. Alright, fine. Let's... Oh, hey, look at that. The bird thing does come detached. Fucking die already?
Dr. Kyne, what the hell are you doing? Get back! Any closer, and I'll shoot him. Give me the access codes to the cargo bay. You idiot! This is processing. Why the hell would I have codes to cargo? Don't lie to me. I'm sick of everyone lying to me. It is imperative that I get the marker. Give me those codes. I don't have them. Is this what you did to the captain? Go on. Shoot me if you've got the balls. Idiots! It's the only way to stop it. The only way to end it. He's completely lost it. Somebody call security.
Okay, you know what? There's something I can talk about that I've actually been avoiding. And that's what it takes, I guess, to be properly creepy. Because that is something I think you can blend with the action genre. In terms of creating terror. Oh my god, I'm realizing I'm getting in real deep here. Alright. How to explain this without going into too rambly a talk that'll... Obviously I've got time to ramble, but if I choose too long a topic, then I have an awkward tendency to split off into tangents. Hey, bro. Alright, so you got the two key things. The two different types of fear. There are actually a lot more than two, as far as I'm concerned. But the two that everybody talks about are the two that have their own Wikipedia article. If you go and check the Wikipedia article. Ow, dude, don't do that. Where's the next one at? That sucks. Ugh, my mouse is all stuttery because of the movement of the platform. It's making the aim quite challenging. What's that? There's gotta be more. Ow! Yep. More on the near side. No? Oh! I heard something erupt. Maybe that was just a death sound or some ragdoll jiggling. Alright, so the difference between the two, between horror and...
Isaac?
Oh, hey.
Is that really you? It feels like it's been so long.
Is this supposed to
But I
be
can
the
help you now.
girlfriend?
Come with me.
So this is, like, definitely a hallucination, right? Oh, yeah, they don't even let me get into direct contact with her. Of course it is. Alright, so, Terror is the...
The
oh,
beacon's
alright, she's
in
gonna
storage room
talk.
next
I'll
to
let
me.
this go.
I think I could disable
Since
the lock
it's-
from here. Hold on.
No, that's not the girlfriend. That's the other support character. No? I don't know. I thought the other support character had, It's like she doesn't even notice it was there. Oh no, I guess she does a little recoil animation. Ooh. I was wondering what would happen if I just let the thing walk up to her. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all. I will confess my surprise. I expected the one that popped up next to me to come from behind, not from over the railing. So... that's actually fairly nice of them. Keep it all pointed in the one direction, I mean. This is like, okay, this is part of what I mean about this not being scary, is just look at all this meat that I've
the
produced.
door's unlocked, Isaac. I
It's
can't
just
get over to
comical.
you, but I'll find a way. I love you. This will all be over soon.
Okay, yeah, no, that's the girlfriend, and she's definitely... Like, look at that. She's getting hooked on monster meat, walking out of the room. Yeah, real spooky. Giblets. I had a thought.
Isaac. Hey, I lost your signal for a while. You had me worried. I see you've got the beacon, so
Yeah,
head
this
to
is
the mining
dumb.
bay and attach it to the asteroid.
Like, why doesn't he
I've
respond?
been
Why
running
doesn't he
trajectory
talk about what he
calculations, and if we
saw?
launch soon, there's a good chance the asteroid can reach a safe distance to begin transmitting.
Like, his silence is
Still no sign of him.
really
In his
disruptive.
state, I can't imagine he's still alive.
I've always found here's an interesting aside. I'll get back to the horror terror stuff. I swear that I will. But I've found that a third-person protag is difficult to take seriously as a silent protag, precisely because I'm out of their body. I can visibly see that they are kind of not that they're independent of me exactly, but that they do things independently of me. I don't have the same preconception with that I do with first-person games, where there's a really blatant assumption I make that, like, I am the protag, you know? There you go. See, that's what I want. I want that. I aim kind of below the waist and just both legs come flying off.
Safety gear must be
Or I
worn at all times in
aim vaguely at the upper torso and just the head and an arm. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if that's an aiming issue on my part that I'm screwing up, or if it's just that I need to upgrade the gun better. And because some of the necromorphs are like softer enemies. They look kind of just bone and tendon, whereas other ones have like a lot of meat built up around them and seem to take more hits. See what I mean? There.
I've got elevator access to the mining subdeck. It was a security lockdown, although I don't think it helped them.
It didn't,
Now that you've got the beacon and the key, head over there. It looks like the asteroid is held in place by some gravity tethers. You'll have to knock those out before you can launch it.
yeah, well, I'm going back to the bench. I did jump a little bit there at that one, because I think that's the first time they've planted a corpse in an area that I had already cleared, so that was a relatively new scenario. But also in that case it was kind of a blind corner, so like by the time I didn't get to see the corpse from afar like I do in a lot of other cases where they are going to do the corpse jumpy uppy trick. Like, I think at least twice now they've had an active necromorph lying still on the ground, and I've noticed it before entering the room, so I've reacted and shot the thing while it was still on the ground. I think that's happened twice now. Okay, reload speed, or... The plasma cutter's doing pretty friggin' well, so why don't we focus on the force gun for the time being. Do have a lot of junk, though. Alright, oh, horror and terror. Ah, see? I didn't forget. How much is that level? Oh, 35 grand. Oh god, that is the last level of suit though, right? Like, I don't have any more inventory space to... no, I guess there'll be, one more after that, probably? Not totally sure. I can't remember how many spaces I've been unlocking with each upgrade thus far. Anyway, horror and terror. Horror and terror. I promised I would. Alright, so horror is when you've seen a disturbing or upsetting thing and you are reacting to that. Sorry, I remembered there's that thing that growls as I'm descending, so I'm betting that's going to be on this here floor. Wow, yeah, good thing I had the gun out and at the ready, hey? Oh, wrong floor. It was floor C or whatever, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. My bad. Okay. Yeah, horror is when you've seen the upsetting thing, and you're just trying to sort of cope with it, with the knowledge that it exists and is real. Come on. Can't see shit. You monster's gotta come closer. Ow. Oh, fuck you. Man, I really can't see a damn thing. That is some opaque special effect they have going on there. I'm gonna keep the force gun out, I think, because of the likelihood that I'm gonna need to pull sudden reflexive explosions in light of this here vision issue. Whoop. Alright, sorry if I go quiet now and then. Whenever there's something that actually does demand my attention in the game. Why the hell did they jump up there before coming after me? Something's bugged in the AI, folks. Anyway, terror is the more anticipatory component. It's the either I just don't know even what's happening, or it's the I'm worried about what is going to happen. So there's a lot of crossover, because obviously there are spaces where you don't know what's going on, but you know that it's bad. That's a common situation. Yeah. Just right up in my fucking face. Didn't jump on that one, incidentally. There was no time to react. Just whatever. Blow your face off. Hum. Although I should have jumped. That one merits a jump.
Processing log. Supervisor Second Engineer
Because
Dallas
again,
reporting.
it's something where up to this point they've
This will
had
be my last report.
using a
I've seen what they
station
do to
be
the
completely
bodies,
peaceful.
what they become. I can't let that happen to me. At least if I don't have any limbs, I won't be able to kill anyone when I'm infected. Please tell Dawn and the kids I love them.
Pardon me, I'm still kind of ill.
Oh God!
He's cutting his limbs off, eh?
One more. One more.
So that's supposed to be horrifying. In that particular instance, There's nothing about what's happening to that guy that's mysterious. There's nothing I'm worried about in terms of the outcome. Everything about that little segment of story is an absolutely sure thing. He knows what's going to happen to him. I know what's going to happen to him. In terms of the long term, in terms of the becoming a necromorph thing. But beyond that, he knows and I know that he's cutting off his limbs. That's what he's doing. So there's none of the anticipatory stuff. There's none of the I don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. Or I'm worried about what will happen, because we have an absolute and definite knowledge of all of the factors of that scenario. So that's a horror scenario. It's supposed to just be upsetting that it's come to this and that he's got to cut his limbs off, and that's supposed to be like, man, if I had to cut my limbs off, God, that would be awful. How would that make me feel? Just all of that, everything along those lines of reasoning. And so that's an attempt at horror. Dead Space fails at terror. Sorry, I just assumed that they'd sick some baddies on me right as soon as I pulled this thing out of the wall. Dead Space fails at terror. There they are. I knew I wasn't going to get out of the scot-free. I better just shoot your exploding arm there. That's the thing to do. Got any more? I got some contact energy I picked up, but it's like, that was contact energy, that's not the gun I was carrying either, so... I think sometimes you get a scripted, like, this is definitely the ammo you pick up, but as an example, I just picked up force rounds off of that guy, so I'm pretty sure that the ammo you get, for instance, from killing dudes is always ammo for a gun that you're carrying. Like, they have some ammo that's procedural and some ammo that is preset. Anyway, back to horror and terror. Dead Space fails at terror because I have these big guns. Terror is the I'm so fucked, I'm in a as a prime example, the sense of like immediate danger is usually a terror thing, because it's usually your concern about the outcome of the current situation in terms of your safety. You don't know if you are going to die, so you are anxious and panicky. A certain amount of that can be horror as well. Knowing what will happen to you, for instance, can be a source of fear. I'm getting a lot of noise coming from my right headphone, so I'm kind of waiting for one of these wall panels to burst. That, in theory, is a terror response, right? The fact, I don't know, I'm hearing noises. There might be something in this room. That's a terror situation. Am I full up? What's going on? No. Why wouldn't it let me pick up the thing? But the reason none of it actually pans out that way is, as I was saying, because of the big guns. Because where I would be worried about the outcome of a situation, instead I'm completely confident in the outcome of a situation. Because not only have I already successfully mowed down a ridiculous number of necromorphs,
Entering zero gravity.
but that's just sort of this game. I know that the game will stop completely if I should happen to die. I know that there's no way I'm effectively meant to die. maybe that rings a little hollow. Obviously, in other horror games, you know, there's still the risk of death, and that still ordinarily spells the end of the game, right? To cluster these bodies around the door so that they'd be there right when you open it. Sorry, but anyway, in most horror games, that's like a problem, is what I was gonna get at. The fact that you can die and that when you die the game will end is a serious issue, because the moment at which you die is the moment at which tension dissipates. You're no longer afraid when you're dead, because you're no longer in actual danger. So, even though dying is something you don't want to happen, effectively in sort of the Pavlovian classical conditioning sense, you're prepared to accept death after a certain amount of it, because you feel better after you die. You know you're going to get to relax if you give up. And that's not really what they want, right? They want you to keep being afraid. They want you to keep playing. They want the game to keep going in all cases. So the death thing is sort of a necessary evil. They want me to... whatever. Oh. Is this what I'm supposed to do? You see what I mean, though, right? Like, what... You know, if stuff just kills you out of nowhere, that's not scary. Aha! Except out here in space there are necromorphs. Oh, jeez. God damn it. Alright. Why is it?
Entering vacuum.
This way. I think that's the correct direction to avoid both of the swingy jigs. Yeah, alright. So they're both there, which means they're both going to swing away here.
Exiting vacuum.
And then I can make that leap safely. There we go. Haha! Challenge beat. Huh. Figured there would be more critters in this room. Seems like a good good time for it, no? Oh. Alright.
Exiting zero gravity.
Remember, kids, they ain't dead till they vomit ammo. Anyway, okay, so, like I was saying, for the most part, Dead Space terror attempts fail, because of the lack of uncertainty, because of the confidence that I have in my ability to adequately murder monsters. No immediate dangers here. But they say I'm not done downstairs. Oopsie daisy. So we have to keep watching this elevator segment, everybody. Come on. So then you get to talk about the actual horror of the horror genre. People use the horror genre, but it's effectively both. Right? It's just the fear genre. That's what that tone is supposed to be about. Boop. Alright, what am I doing down here? More stuff up in this fucking room, okay.
Entering zero gravity.
What? Excuse me? Is that like a get in the thing? I don't understand. Those spinny deals make a lot of noises that are very reminiscent of the critter sounds. I don't understand what they mean for me to do with this device. Obviously, this is the thing I am supposed to stasis. But, like, what, am I supposed to jump in there? This button. Mined asteroids are held in place by gravity tethers and need to disable all of them in order to launch the asteroid away from the ship. Clean shot past their outer casing should do the trick. Oh, I see. Alright, so what I'm supposed to do is freeze this thing and then... There you go. Oh, there are more. Bugs? We got bugs here. What the hell was that? Hey. Alright. I'll step on you then. Alright, now bugs, huh? What the hell? What is that pointing at? Oh, they've got more on the outside? Fucking assholes. Alright. back across. There's only the one corner. Well, I guess there should be one other corner up there that's also safe periodically. Go! What do you mean I can't jump there? Great, now I gotta wait for the fucking thing to go around again.
Entering vacuum.
Alright, where are the fucking, where are the gravajigs? Whoop.
Warning. Payload 8772 is no longer tethered. Untrained personnel should leave the area immediately.
How long is it gonna take to detach here? Oh, quit gagging. He's like,
Exiting vacuum.
whoop. I don't know if this is actually the floor, but I also don't especially care at the moment. Oh no, this is not the floor. That's the floor. Right? Or is this the ceiling? It's the ceiling. Alright, whatever. 50-50. Let's land here. I gotta take another look at that journal, because I don't know if there's more I have to do. Launch the asteroid. Oh, from the control room. So that's back out the other way. Alright. And away we go. Since I triggered those combat encounters early, do you think there'll be more? Or will they have, is that it? It's looking like that was it. That was all they had planned. Anyway. So what about horror? How is Dead Space doing for horror? I alluded to this when I was talking about Ravenholm in an earlier episode, about the screaming of the Jesus, can I turn that off? Any chance? Nope. No, sir, I can't. Yo! I'm just going to assume that if there are necromorphs at this particular juncture, they are probably going to kill themselves coming after me. Oh, no, that's the wrong room. These flames to die down. These ones not die down. Die. These ones do. Okay, good times. Send that across first. Then send myself. Alright.
There will be certain
Fight me.
in 10 minutes.
Ha! Come apart like wet paper. Oh, there you go. There's another prime example. I was saying, like I was alluding to with the Ravenholm stuff, some of... I mean, I opened the bench, I know I had no notes. I guess in my brain I was thinking it was a story. Anyway, the screaming of the headcrab zombies when you light them on fire really reminds you there's a person in there, right? The fact that the transformation process is evidently slow and probably quite painful, you know, and that you can see it happening in various stages. They prop up a body or two just so you can get a good look, you know. You get the sense that you have that knowledge that when a head crab jumps on you, it's going to latch on. It's going to slowly eat the skin off your face, because of course you also see the head crabs that have been the head crab zombies, that is, that have been abandoned. Looking pretty good. I don't actually notice. Oh, I guess he's got more shit on his back of his legs and stuff. Anyway, let's have a look at that inventory. Maybe we've got it all unlocked now, and that was the last one. Nope, one more row. So there's either one or two more suit upgrades yet to come. Anyway, you have, you know, okay, head crabs are going to jump on you, they're going to eat off your face, like this whole incredibly unpleasant experience is going to happen. And you contrast that to the necromorphs, who, one, you never see transform in this series. They're always already dead. Oh, I only have 100 credits. That's not going to happen. In Dead Space 2, you get to see one transform right before your eyes. A living person gets hit by one of those bat things, and they go full necromorph right there. But it's like instantaneous. It's like, ah! And then his face inverts, and the bony spines come erupting out of his body. And it's like, oh, there's like nothing to that process. Like, I think I said before, I don't want to imply that it looked like it was painless, but it didn't look like it was tortured, I guess, is the big thing I'm looking for, right? A transformation that is slow and painful, or that, as is implied with the head crab zombie, where you're gradually losing control of yourself. Oh, I forgot to actually pull the switch in there. That whole thing is a lot more upsetting on the horror level than this idea, oh, the thing like stabs into your neck and then you die, right? Like, there's no indication that there's any humanity left in them after they've been converted to necromorphs. There are maybe a handful of necromorphs, like the ones that are pinned to the walls, or those weird ones that were breathing, that gave the impression that you would that gave the impression that crap, I even lost the end of that sentence because I was distracted stomping on dead bodies. Anyway, hopefully, even without the end of whatever that sentence was going to be, the point is still making sense. There's no indication. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. The weird, like, lung sac ones that were poisoning the air. Like, there's a vague indication that they're not completely gone, because there's still a very human shape to them, and it looks like they're in some kind of pain, like they might be husks of a person, but still self-aware under there. But that's the difference between that and... There's gotta be a switch I'm supposed to press in here, right? That I just didn't see. Is this it? Is there a button on this thing? Yeah. Ah, there we go. It's an invisible button.
Payload 8
Only appears when you're ready to push it.
launched.
Beacon's on its way. All functions normal and broadcasting wideband.
Yay.
Now we just have to hope somebody's listening. I'll position the array
It's
receiver.
absolutely ridiculous that
I
nobody
thought I
would
saw
be
my brother
listening
again.
if they sent
You waved
this
to me.
repair crew
Like
up.
nothing was wrong. Okay. I should be able to leave this channel open. What? The comms array receiver isn't responding. Isaac, can you get back to the bridge? We need that array online or we can't receive signals from anyone responding to the beacon.
Sure.
Detected.
Why?
Quarantine activated.
Bring it on, bitch. More.
Quarantine lifted.
You didn't spit up any loot. Or was it you? You were going too close. I couldn't tell who was responsible. Oh no, there was the other bit of loot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I misjudged you, monster. Yeah, okay. Actually, I'll hit the bench first. Now that I have that load to spare. Ooh. It's an empty. How about this situation? I haven't been dying much lately, so I guess this is, I'm gonna call that a low priority. Let's focus more on killing rather than dying. Definitely gonna, probably actually gonna skip this capacity upgrade and just go hard for the final damage, because that's what's really lacking here. I have not been running out of ammo on this one. Not in a problematic way, at least. Like, I was running low on ammo between waves of monster, but I was able to reload with a slight delay. So provided the counter design doesn't completely go to shit in the next little while, I should be all right. What about other stuff? Some of those monsters, like the monsters that's mounted on the wall, and the monster that, or even there's that one. Oh. See, it doesn't blow their limbs off, it's just doing a bunch of damage to them. Like, it's still only 2 or 3 shots to put them on the ground, but it's like strategic dismemberment. I want to blow their limbs off. Like, what are you doing? Oh, he's right there. Any more? You guys are fucking gross. That was pretty funny, actually, the freeze frame of it. Anyway. Alright, one last visit to the shop. Nope, nothing to sell. Alright, good shape. Make that save file and be on our way. What was I saying? Yeah, so there are a handful that meet the horror thing. The one that I couldn't kill met the terror thing a little bit, in the sense that I was no longer certain of the outcome. It became a lot more dicey all of a sudden, knowing that I could only temporarily put the thing down. You know, that gets old after a while. You're putting the thing down over and over again. You start to feel invincible again after a while. But, it's not necessarily, you know, for the duration that it lasted, I think it was still pretty effective. But yeah, the only ones, there's the crawling necromorph there, actually. That's what I was going to say, is there's a species of crawling necromorph that's basically screaming, like their heads are still skinless, but they're like actively wailing. Those ones are maybe a little more creepy than the other ones, just because they're showing anything, any kind of emotion, right? A lot of the necromorphs do these crazy balls out runs at you, but those are still not necessarily like, they're not impressive, because, I mean, I don't know, they're slightly scarier in that, even just in that they're running at you like crazy, but I don't find them particularly upsetting. But then there are other, like, moments where I think they're obviously trying for horror, where they do things like, I open the door and there are a bunch of dead human bodies floating right in front of the door. And then I walked out into the room, turned around, there's a second entrance to that room. I might have walked in through that other door. And there's an identical cluster of human bodies floating around that door as well. So, like, come on. First of all, dead human body? Yeah. Oh.
Things are looking up.
I triggered
The
the lady.
military ship is docked in.
Oh, talk over her.
USN
You can,
Valor.
I'll get the same narration again when I start the next episode. But
we can't talk to it until the
you,
comms is fixed. I'm gonna
shit,
hack
and then I
Guard
lost my train of
communications
thought.
for you. Get in there and
I
find
really
the
am
contact
sorry
station.
about all of these little hiccups. Things that are horrifying, things that are terrifying. Where it's been succeeding in horror. Oh, and the bodies, right. Okay, so a body would be horrifying, like, under normal circumstances. But that's the thing. Context is particularly relevant. You can't just show me a dead body and expect me to be scared, for instance, when it's a nastied up polygonal dead body that doesn't look all that impressive. When I'm in this, third person perspective, so I'm fairly zoomed out from the body, so I'm not right up close and personal seeing tattered skin and bursted blood vessels and all other kinds of evidence of ongoing decay. I'm not seeing crawling maggots and stuff. I'm not physically there, so I can't smell the horrendous fucking awful corpse stench that humans produce as they are decaying. Almost all of the elements of, like, direct raw human horror from encountering another human body are absent. And then above and beyond that, I am making bodies en masse. Bodies are run-of-the-mill. Bodies are everywhere in this game. The fact that when I come across a body, I do this little stomp and I shear through their limbs, as I've said, like they're made of wet paper. It completely removes any sense that those bodies are bodies, right? Any sense that that used to be a person, right? It seems just like a mannequin. It seems like nothing. It seems like air. You need context for something like that to be horrifying. So in turn, when it's something like, and again, I'll draw the comparison maybe back to Ravenholm, headcrab zombies, the first time you encounter them, can be fairly upsetting. The 90th time you encounter a headcrab zombie, you're usually pretty okay with it. I think that might be part of the reason that Ravenholm is like the second chapter or whatever, the second major area in Half-Life. Like it needed to be earlier on for those enemies to have that punch, because by the time you're running into headcrab zombies late in the game, they're a joke. At the same time, you look at an example like Slender, the 8 Pages, and you never look at that monster. Like that monster never becomes run-of-the-mill, because encountering it at all is death in that game, right? So you're constantly in a state of just avoiding it and being away from it. So it can be a lot more horrifying when you actually encounter it. Now again, that's maybe a poor example, because it's not. Because whenever you do actually get up close and personal and have a good look at that particular model, it looks like a stupid noodle person. It's not very frightening at all. But, like as an example, the concept of a necromorph, the concept of this thing that used to be a person and now has these these jutting out bone growths, maybe that could have been scary. But they're almost always just on the other end of my gun. You know, they're always just the thing that's being blown apart. So I don't get the opportunity to feel a deep sense of horror. All of the stuff that they're trying to induce by having the crew records and stuff, again, it's almost all contextless. None of those characters are recurring in any way, so I don't feel anything for any of them. They just each pop up, do something nanners, do something horrifying, like, oh, that guy stabbed that other guy in the eye, but they both seem like perfectly normal people. Why did he do it? Like, you didn't in that little clip of a video that they showed, you didn't get the impression that he was like, he suddenly turned crazy or whatever. It just sort of went staticky for a moment, and then there's a needle in the guy's eye. Oh no. Like, the doctor's immediate reaction is, it was an accident. And I'm like, yeah, like it fucking probably was. Like, they're trying to give you the impression that all of these people are losing their minds. But losing your mind is a necessarily gradual process. You have to be able to contemplate what you were before, right? In order for that horror to really sink in. So the fact that they're just expecting me to go, oh, a doctor stabbed a guy in the eye, isn't that nuts? No. Like, that's literally it. When someone just walks up to you and describes a horrifying thing, it's almost never that deeply affecting. When you watch a horrifying movie, meanwhile, where you're taken through a painful, plodding, slow-paced, slow burn, decay of a person's sanity, then it's really deeply affecting. But it's because they've been able to build up the tone and build up the context. Even if they were able to build up a consistent tone in this game, it would be broken constantly by the fact that in between every one of those little moments of psychological disruption, I am slaughtering aliens. I am slaughtering aliens like it's Doom. And everything is gleeful and hilarious and contextless again. So it's not doing it on terror. It's not doing it on horror. So I'm actually, oddly enough, I'm increasingly hopeful for Dead Space 3. When I was exposed to this series from afar, I was really disappointed to hear that it sort of descended into this more action-gamey style towards the end. But now I'm increasingly convinced that it was wrong for this game to ever regard itself as a horror game. It is bad at it. Everything it's doing to try to be a terror game is just interfering with its action, but the fact that it still has the action is making the terror impossible and useless. And their attempts at horror are pathetic. They don't display even a remote amount of competence. Like, they've obviously got the action stuff down. They've created some interesting guns. They've created an interesting enough upgrade system. Now that I've got this fixed, the game even at least controls decently well. This is all competent and proficient. But their horror is inept. So, you know, do what you're good at. Stick with the action game. That's what this is doing well. But I guess that's also the shame. Sorry, this is... jabbering is running way too long, but the real shame is that if you were doing a mashup, I think you could do it with horror, not with terror. I think those are fundamentally conflicting design goals. But I think that you can have sort of this brutal murdering stuff alongside psychological horror. And in fact, I think you can see examples of that in a game like BioShock, where you are treated to, you know, regularly. You can hear the splicers talking before you engage in combat with them, so you can listen to the deteriorated state of their minds. When you're getting your audio logs in BioShock, you are listening to, you know, each character kind of usually only gets a handful of logs, but you get a character's story for whatever little arc that character is going to go through. And so you get little chunks of Rapture's history, and you can see the process of decay very slowly. Whereas here, it's just kind of like, whatever. Shit went down, and it's sort of all one big clusterfuck, and I am not getting any sense of the gradual nature of things. Rapture started grand. That's the big thing. The first audio logs that you get in Rapture are about the city when it's thriving. They're about people complaining about issues with the pipes, right? Well before you get to any of the actual horror. And that's juxtaposed immediately. You have those audio logs talking about the grandeur of the city, juxtaposed with a lady pushing a stroller, and when you approach the stroller, there's a revolver in it, right? So you're getting the impression that they're crazy, right? But I mean, that's another point. Like, I just described that to you. Is that horrifying? The lady was pushing a stroller with a revolver in it. That doesn't begin to approach the gradual process of you entering the room, seeing the lady from afar, hearing her like singing a lullaby to what is obviously a baby, right? And then stepping a little too far into the room, having her shriek and turn towards you, apparently in defense of her child, and you have to put her down at that point in time with a wrench, so you're thwacking this poor woman who's apparently at least defending her child. You're just beating her to death with a wrench with these bloody thud, you know, this sort of hollow noises. The whole experience is really just disgusting and unpleasant. And then you walk over to the stroller and the revolver's there, and that's when you get the revolver. That whole gradual experience, that involved experience, is so much more than, oh, the doctor, you stabbed him in the eye, the doctor's lost it. You know, don't tell me he's lost it. Show me that he's lost it. Show me what he used to be like. Show me that he was a fantastic doctor and that he never would have done such a thing. Talk about, like, the sureness of his hands and give me a demonstration thereof. And then have him, you know, and show it on the screen very clearly, him viciously jamming this thing into a guy's eye. You know, give me the shot of his eyes suddenly bugging out. You know, let me appreciate that moment of insanity, not just this, you know, staticky image and then somebody after the fact. Like, there's actually a soldier in that recording that played who shouts something like, is it the doctor's gone insane or gone mad or something to that effect. You know, terrible. Anyway, shooting dudes is fun, so we can end it on the happy note that shooting dudes is fun. I have held you at this point for way too long just staring at me talking at an empty room, so I'll bid you goodbye for this episode.